Alright, class. It's time to turn in yesterday's homework. Crow, what the f is this?
I'm sorry?
I'm calling your parents.
What did I do exactly?
You didn't show your work for question 12.
That one was 2 times 2.
Who the f do you think you are? You know what? Get out of my class.
School has been forever ruined for me. Before kindergarten, I was super excited to learn stuff. 1, because it was what the big kids did, and I wanted to be a big kid. And 2, because I was a nerd! Wait, I'm just making fun of myself. I'm just naturally a curious person. And school should be something to inspire and satisfy curiosity. More often than not, though, it gets ruined for people. Between unqualified staff and fake friends, school becomes a place that most people hate. Here are some stories that relate to why I personally hate school. First off, teachers. I've had some teachers who I really liked at the start, but as the year went on, well, you'll see what I mean. For obvious reasons, let's start with my animation teachers. My first animation teacher was a very nice guy. I imagine he still is, and that's great. But he knew nothing about animation and basically resorted to teaching us directly from the Adobe Animate Introduction course books.
We're going to learn animation for this here Adobe book.
I already know this. On top of me knowing most of the stuff in the Animate book, I knew how to draw, so he saw those things and thought,
this kid can teach my class for me! Ha!
Bro, what? Plus, before we could even think of actually animating, he required the class to do tons of paperwork on the history of animation. My last animation teacher, oh my gosh bro, where do I even start? He started off as the teacher who seemed like he just wanted to be hip with the kids. Turns out he was a complete bully who just wanted an audience who he could tell his political views to. And when he wasn't talking about politics, he was making jokes that just put down his students.
Hey you!
Yes, sir?
Screw you!
Whoa, what did he do?
Nothing, screw you too!
When he did actually teach, because he had to in order to keep his job, he taught stuff that anyone actually interested in learning animation would already know. I could go on about my animation teachers, but that's a story for another day. For now, let's go all the way back in time to kindergarten. Back then, I really looked up to my kindergarten teacher, probably because I was a child and thought literally everyone was my friend. Adults were basically the perfect beings in 5-year-old me's eyes. But anyway, there was this one time where I really had to go to the bathroom. So I asked, hey, can I go to the bathroom? And she would always ask, is it an emergency? So normally I'd say no and that would be the end of it, but this time I said, yeah, I really gotta go. And for some reason, she just didn't believe me. As a kindergartner, I couldn't hold it very well, so obviously I made the only decision a kindergartner could make, and when she came to me later and said, you can go to the bathroom now, I looked up at her and said, I already went. She was mortified. After that, she didn't hold anyone back from going to the bathroom for the rest of the year.
Really showed her.
Obviously, it would be dumb to still be mad about that. I'm an adult, so by now I understand that everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes like being in a gifted and talented program. We'll call it GT for short. As soon as I joined my school's GT program back in elementary school, my grades immediately started going down. This is because on top of having to attend and complete all the homework from GT, I also had homework from the classes that I missed. I wasn't even in those classes to learn the material and they were still giving me homework. Clearly, I didn't know what was going on in regular school, so I began to fail. And once I made that connection between GT and my bad grades, I dropped that crap like it was hot. And then my grades began to improve. So that was pretty sick. Speaking of sick,
COVID.
Post-COVID, school was the easiest thing ever. It's not that I just became a genius all of a sudden, which I am. But I feel like schoolwork as a whole just became way too easy. Like, I got A's in most of my classes solely by guessing. It was nice while I was in school because I already hated it by then, but now I look back and realize that it's a real problem. Students who still thought it was hard likely relied on AI and were rewarded with success. The ease of good grades made them think they were smart. I should be a doctor. When really they don't know how to think for themselves. It's highly unlikely that they'll actually become doctors, and they may end up realizing that they aren't as smart as they thought they were. But on the off chance that they do end up becoming doctors, do you really want someone who cheated and got lucky all through med school to be your doctor? Do you want the person who should have failed at becoming a surgeon to be giving you your spine surgery? Ayo, Linda, hand me the bone saw. Sir, we don't need that right now. I don't think so. Let's be honest, AI isn't going anywhere, no matter how much you complain about people who use it. People will still use it, and hopefully it becomes a tool instead of a cop-out. But we'll put a hold on that topic for now. What I will talk about, however, is friends. When you go to school, the people you hang out with can make or break your school experience. They say you are who you hang out with. And if you hang out with bad people, you're probably going to act like a bad person. Unfortunately, in middle school, I had bad friends which ended up turning me into a pretty terrible person. I treated the people around me pretty poorly. Loser. Stop that. But luckily in high school, I moved and got better friends. Consequently, I have better memories of high school than I do of middle school. Speaking of middle school though, going into middle school I was excited for science. However, I came to realize science classes hardly ever let you blow things up, or look into space, or look at people blowing things up in space. And that's not even what science classes are about, which sucks. It just turned out to be English and math mixed into one subject, which, to be honest, thank goodness scientists of the world calculate everything instead of giving things to the public hoping they work instead of blow up. Space is cool though. So on our homework when we had to summarize science articles, I did lots of space stuff. And then I eventually did some article summaries of the COVID-19 virus. And then towards the end of the school year is when I moved and then quarantine happened. I loved quarantine. I didn't have to talk to anyone or go to physical school. It was perfect. It was also really weird watching things go down in real time though. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. Now I want to hear from you. Do you hate school? And why or why not? Mainly why not? Also, while you're down there, you should like and subscribe. See you later!